So with these lock building, what we're trying to do is build one lock that works for two different keys. In this case, this one and this one. It doesn't matter which two, it could be any combination of whatever. There's always a master key and there's always a worker key or whatever. So that's what we did with this lock. This is when it's done. It works with this. It opens, this is open, this is rotating fine, and it works with this. Yay! Alright, so that's the that's the finished story. So let's take it all apart. And this pin needs to be compressed to get this lock ring off. Eventually, sometime today. Getting there. It's a spring. It's got two springs in it, right?
No, one spring.
Just one spring.
It's pretty compressive though.
Okay.
See, look how much I have to compress.
Lock ring. And then there's just one spring underneath this. Okay, and then we're recycling these ones, right? Because that's easy. And just one spring. There's this baby spring. Okay. And then, how do we take this apart? With a key?
Yeah. You gotta spin it off.
Okay.
And then stick that back in, I think. But we're not saving them, so who cares?
So if I just,
there you go.
if I just turn it, it's just gonna slide apart with springs flying everywhere. Okay. So I'm gonna,
And
yeah.
pins flying everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm gonna save just one set of, so that's all the springs are flying inside, like so, and came out of those holes there. And what we're looking at here is, this is how this works when it's built right, there. And the key is pushed into it. And there, and they are sitting all at this height, so this can rotate inside of this. So the heights of these things obviously need to match the zigs and the zags on the key. Now, to make it work for two keys, we have two sets of these little shims here for the second key. It also works, but some of them look like they don't line up, which is fine. Here's one of them that fell off, which is fine because with one key, some of these line up in one configuration. Let's see, yeah, here's another one. And there are some, yeah, this is the first layer that all are the same color. So with one key, the tops of these line up. With the other key, the tops line up with the extra little shims. So there's always bottom pins with pointed ends, and the pointy ends engage with the valleys here, and then eventually these will come out, and then this is all of different lengths. So on the bottom we have the bottom pins. We can have these flat discs of different thickness, master pins or whatever. So these ones will work with one key. These ones will work with the second key. And then we have top pins, and all of the top pins plus the little shims plus the bottom pins will all equal this distance here inside whatever, and then they can all, this core can turn inside this. So that's where the math is. How do we divide this fixed space into a top pin, a bottom pin, and the master pin or shim to make it work with the zigs and the zags? Yeah, to do all this, we have bottom pins that are pointed from 0 to 9. We have master pins. There is no 1, but it goes to 9. And they are thin. They are just shims. Super thin shims. And then we have top pins, but there are only 3 sizes of top pins, 1, 2, and 3. So, and then we have the math. Yeah, this is showing how the top pins, the bottom pins, and sometimes these master pins are added in, and how they are inside inside this whatever in this configuration, and they will and the zigs and the zags will even out, and it will rotate with the master pins, or the master pins will be pushed up higher and it will rotate just on the bottom pins. So this building, and this could be this way with the holes in it, or this could be this way, but okay, numbers read from left to right. The key is from left to right, like so. So the values here, whatever, line up from there. So first one, second one, third one, whatever, last one. So this is gonna be built the same way there, corresponding to the key. So we take the first thing here, number 3, and it goes into the first hole here. The first is there, and goes in there. That's a number 3, and that's gonna work with there. Ta-da! Looks good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, next one is a number 2. Okay, let's cover this one up because we don't want to spill it everywhere. Number 2 pin. Let's put it down on this side. And let's fish out one. And then it goes, whoa, let's put it here where it doesn't get spilled. And pin, whoa, there, nothing there. Okay, there. Nice, so it's working so far.
Just or nothing. That's actually good.
Okay, so for the next number, I just want to see the one set on them, 0. So for 0, it's not that we don't put 0 in. There's a 0 pin. But a 0 doesn't mean nothing in this case. It means number 0 pin. Let's take out 1 and the pointy end down and drop it in there. Nice, that is the correct pin for this key. And just for curious kind, how does the other key work? The other key is obvious that that needs to be built up for that to work with a master pin on the first. Yeah, it's looking good. On the first hole, that needs to be built up. The second and the third will work on its own as is. And for this one, this just works. Nice. All right, I put one more number 0 here. That works with the other key, obviously. That one and that one work, and this one will not work for this key without a master pin or a master shim there. This one just works flawlessly. All right, so I've got all of these 3, 2, 0, 0, 3, and 5 for the bottom pins, and for this key these work, but this one will need a shim there to make it work. And for the other key, this one works. Those work, but this one needs a shim and that one needs a shim. And so this is position 2 and 3 here. So for the master shims there, position 2 and 3 don't need nothing, and the rest of them will need some shims. And yeah, so let's see how we're looking with shims in place. Shim number 2, master, and this is super thin. Yeah, like a 1 millimeter thin. Number 2 goes into spot number 1 there. Let's see how that works with this key there. Okay, that is not needed for that key, but that shim is gonna be needed for this key. I don't get lost there. There. Nice. So obviously it's gonna be shaking loose there, but that's how it's looking. So it needs one shim in the first. Yeah, we'll get it into the first one. There, it's in the first one. Right there. And then for 2 and 3, no shims. And for spot 3 here, we need a number 3 shim, which is this number 3 shim. A little bit thicker. Whoa, sugar. So the number 3 shim goes on spot number 4. Thereabouts. And it fell in on its edge. Alright. Number 2 shim here. Nothing, nothing. Number 3. Number 2. Number 2. Master shims. So some is gonna spill as the key is being pushed in, but I'll try not to spill them. There, so that's how these line up with this key. There, obviously those look good, and this one doesn't need the last shim there to work. And that last shim in this case will go back into the housing on this side, and it's just going to be pressed into this space here. So that's how this looks like. Yeah. And then for the other key, I put everything back in order. Yeah. The number 3 shim is not needed there, and the number 2 shim is a little too high here, but the same number 2 shim there is not needed, and yeah, it's needed there. Yeah, that's how these are going to be pushed into the top part of the lock. All right. Let's put them back together. Nice, and then just leave this alone. Alright, we'll make the top shims. This could be used this way, or this could be used this way. This is a tool that's needed for different locks, whatever. For deadbolt, and this is not for deadbolt. So for the top pins, we have the following top pins there: 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. There, we don't need anything else. 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So let's do that. So these top pins are cylinders. They can go in either which way. And so we need 2. So I've got 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3 in this, and these cylinders don't line up with anything, but this tool is going to be pushed through and yes, they rise to the surface, but they also drop out, whatever, because they're gonna be pushed into those holes there with a spring on top, and the spring is just gonna be this kind of spring. Sometimes these get tangled up by here, so there's one for each. Okay, so this component needs to be just fitted over wherever, but need to compress the spring somehow. So this will work right here, but it's like a pool noodle or something. To compress it, there's one, and then two. All right, this is tricky.
Go right
Oh,
to that.
so that black line is where it ends. So let's cover up the last spring, like so. Okay, and then, so if you just rotate this, they will all spring into place. Let's hear it. Ooh, nice. However, this one is backwards. This part here needs to be facing the threaded part, yeah? Or this may not work in, like, I think it should be this way.
But with the numbers going the other way.
Yeah.
Can you take it out? No.
We'll work with it.
We'll work with that, exactly.
Yeah, we'll work with it and see what happens. So the only way this comes out is if we. Alright, I pushed it through. Okay, so that means all the shims and the springs are inside here. So far, so good. Now we need to combine this whole thing with this without spilling. Okay, I turn this one around and it's looking good. Let's see. Let's see. No, this can take a while.
Yeah, that way. Yeah.
All right, so that one's in place. So let's turn it somewhere, he says, and we can get rid of this, and then try to replace this one with that one, but turn it some other place so that they don't line up initially. And yeah, my first spring,
don't drop.
yeah, my first spring went into that.
Don't drop it out.
So I'm trying to slide it over in a spot where it's possible. Nice. And then I'm gonna add this lock ring on it, but it's not nearly done yet. So now we need to rotate the two sets of pins together. Yes, they are together now. So now it's not coming out, but it will come out if we put a key in. So I'm gonna put this one back on, and so let's see what we did. Key number 1. Oh yes, nice. Nice, would be nice. Okay, if it doesn't come out, because that's 2 there, 2 loose there, and the key number 2. Oh yes. High five, but just quietly.
Repeat.
All right, so then let's take it all apart and dump it in the bucket, because we're not recycling yet. It's not gonna come apart without a key. There. Now they can slide apart. we're keeping the springs, but not keeping the pins. So there is a bunch of everything, and these pins, we're not keeping these. This is all garbage. Garbage. Yeah, we're keeping the core only like that.